Greetings from the past, my fellow time travelers, and welcome back to another episode of The Ladder. My name's Ty, and let's see where we're heading with this, well, hot ending. Maybe it's that one last look on her face that has changed it. Maybe it's what I've seen and heard inside. There's only a calm, a stillness. The same hush that comes after a terrible storm has swept the countryside. And with it is the sight of the sun rising above the horizon. Ever so slowly, the sky begins to lighten before my eyes. Darkness giving way to the warm morning hues, soft rays spilling over the vast expanse of Luxporn's countryside. Nearby, the trees sway and rustle with the breeze, a passing draft that carries even into this room from outside, cold enough to make me shiver. The remains of a storm that has passed. In the distance, I can hear the soft chirping of birds, while the rest of the world stirs, wakes. Dawn at last. We are free. Are we really free? I'm not so sure about that. I mean, I hope so, but still. There's something strange going on. Despite initial protest, Luke agreed with Isabella Santos. He began dousing the place with alcohol and setting it on fire. Sure enough, as flames slowly engulfed the place, it returned to its original state, freeing them. Outside at the first light of dawn, the mansion burned to the ground before their eyes. It's over. Really? Really? What? Like the flames that engulfed the mansion that night, whispers quickly spread across Luxburn City after the incident. Officers who investigated it have simply deemed it an unfortunate accident. Regardless of the truth, Luke Wright files criminal charges against Prior Realty Corporation after Realty Corporation. I know I'm spelling that out wrong. For undisclosed reason to the public, forcing the latter to declare bankruptcy. A move that has merely stoked the rumors further. But for those who still believe in the stories of the old and those who know the truth, it is but a testament to the curse and the secrets in the Ermengarde mansion has hidden for centuries. If there will come a time those will finally be revealed, only the ashes of the now ruined mansion know. However, on nights when the wind howls and thunder booms across the sky, some still claim hearing of voices where it once stood. Of cries and wails that fill the nights, and desperate calls of help for anyone who dare listens. As for those who once threaded its halls, oh, I knew it. After a period of brief separation, Hannah Wright returns to Luke Wright's side. Not without its fair share of challenges, of course, especially for Luke. But for the sake of their children, he tries, although the man still fears fatherhood, afraid of becoming like his father was to him. However, with a little help from Hannah, he eventually comes around, especially when the twins are born. I knew she was pregnant. He's still far from being a good father. He thinks he will never be. There are parts of him that will always remain unpleasant and will exasperate Hannah to the end. But even someone like him sees the joy in this, in having a family. For the first time in a long while, he admits he's content. They are happy. No. Months after her recovery, Miriam McCullough heads back to her homeland, ready to close a chapter of a past she has left hanging for so long. There, she visits Lorraine's grave, asking for forgiveness from the girl she once loved, something she has intentionally avoided for years. Although the terror of what she has witnessed inside the Ermengarde mansion still clings to her, she bravely chooses to move on from it. Turning a new leaf by focusing on a new branch of her interior design company, and leaving her interior design company at Luxburn in the hands of her secretary instead. Although she never returns to the city after, she is frequently seen visiting to check on the people has become acquainted with in her years there. Having finally accepted herself, she won't deny she's in a happier place now. Oh. Despite making the island branch of her interior design company her focus now, Miriam continues to cater to her most avid patrons in Luxburn when requested. And after her work on the Ermengarde mansion, the Wright couple, particularly Hannah Wright, have never trusted another to handle the design for any of the places they own. Upon moving to their new place after giving birth to hers and Luke's children, Marianne's name is the first thing she calls, while the woman is quick to fly back to the city at the society's summons. Oh. Not only helping with the decorations of their new place, but also assisting with the renovation, much to Hannah's delight. Since then, the two women has kept a close friendship. Often, they can be seen going around town together when Marianne's in town, and Hannah can be heard recommending the designer to her peers during parties. In the city, often keeping an ear out for any gossip, one can't deny that both women have found a confidant in the other. Oh. Ooh, nice, Zach. With help from family and friends, Zachary Steele is soon able to open a photography studio on his own. Something he has only dreamed of having as a child. Although he still hopes to get back to making indie films someday, client work and small project has kept him mostly busy. Hectic as it may be, he can only be glad for the amount of work pouring in. It has made moving on from the incident in the Ermengarde mansion easier, if not faster. But while there are still nightmares, with support from his family, his doctor, and his own drive, the dark images have finally turned into pleasant dreams. He's aware he won't ever truly forget, but he's no longer running away. At times, when he's not busy or after a hard day's work, he thinks there's another story for the big screen to be told in that. An idea he may soon turn into reality once his time affords it. Oh. Unknown to many, Hannah Wright has also played a huge role in getting Zach's new studio up and running. Oh. But for all of the later's efforts to try and thank the woman, she insists keeping her investment a secret as she merely wishes to help out, having been impressed by his skills in the field during the brief time they've worked together. A working relationship that continues to this day, as he is the only photographer she seeks at every single event she hosts, whether it's a simple social gathering or a company party. Beyond work, they also remain close friends to this day, marked by frequent visits to his studio or casual talks over lunch or dinner. A friendship that seems only to grow in time, okay? Especially after her children were born, who have become especially fond of the man. Oh. Both has never directly answered what the real case may be. But it is clear Hannah trusts the photographer enough to place her children in his care, every time she and Luke Wright leave the city for business. Although her husband's relationship with Zach is still lukewarm at best, lukewarm buttons. Despite her hopes, through the years he has learned to wisely keep his opinions to himself, perhaps out of respect to his wife and her close friend. Oh, Becca! In the months that follow, Rebecca Gales becomes a prominent researcher within Luxbrum's major academic circles, especially after writing what she has discovered about Anson Village and the Ermengarde mansion. With help from Professor Andrew Clark, she is soon able to secure funding to continue her research, presenting her findings yearly at local and international symposiums. Now at the tail end of her current study, she hopes to publish her first book, correcting all inaccuracies in the city's current history. A move supported by both colleagues, students, and friends alike. Though she knows she still has a long way to go before she can even begin to change people's minds about it, Professor Clark has warned her as much. She perseveres. Doing it not for only her, but for the sake of history the future generations must never forget. Oh, wait a minute. No matter how disturbing her experience with the curse may have been, she remains the worrywart she has always been. Even after what she has seen, she continues to fret over people she cares about, sometimes much to their frustration or embarrassment. But if there's one thing that has shifted, it's her relationship with the people in their title group, particularly with Zach Steele. In fact, on numerous occasions, she has been spotted dropping by his new studio, bringing the man food on days when he's swamped with work. Oh, they also seem to have grown more comfortable around each other than before. Maybe it's born out of their shared experience. Or maybe the way they see each other has simply changed naturally, due to the years they have known each other. No, regardless of the whys, It's a change the man welcomes and appreciates. In turn, he strives to return her kind gestures whenever he can. For all the horrors they've seen, who would have thought something good will come out of it? No. Ooh, damn. Things have inevitably become strained between Ashton Frey and Rebecca Gales in the months following her confession. And with their lives getting busier, the two have eventually drifted apart. Although neither talks about it and the teacher still strives to forget an old love, it's clear in Rebecca that there are still feelings left she couldn't let go of. If anything, however, this has only made it obvious how much has changed between them, and how much she has clung to the idea of Ashton from their younger days, the one that may not have been there in the first place. Merely an idea for a starry-eyed young girl. But if there will be a time she will be able to accept this, to move from the hurt and repair on an old friendship that has fallen to ruin, only she knows. Oh, Kylie and Luke, oh my god. Amidst her struggles, Rebecca finds an unlikely companion in Luke Wright. While being a father has kept him busy nowadays, he still managed to make time for her, his goddaughter, Kylie Suarez, though the man still won't admit it when asked. Rebecca still regards the man as insufferable. She doubts it will ever change. But after all she has seen, much as she denies it, she now considers his presence the closest thing she has to comfort. A similar sentiment the businessman seems to hold, even confiding in the woman of his own problems and fears, things he couldn't voice out to his wife. Their friendship may be awkward at best, but with the grim reality of death having once shadowed over the two of them, it's something they eventually grow fond of in time. Oh, Isabella's drawing. With her newfound courage, Isabella Santos finally chooses to pursue what she really wants for herself. Having made enough to keep her family afloat for a few years and with their blessing, she quits her job at Briar Realty Corporation and takes the scholarship offer from the local university. Though remarkably out of practice and unsure if she'll be able to keep up by the time she returns to university, she finds her feet soon enough with help from people close to her. And with her confidence in her skills growing, so did a number of people recognizing her and her work. It doesn't take long for several award-giving bodies to take notice of her. For all her accomplishments, however, she has never truly forgotten what happened at the Ermengarde mansion. The images still remaining in her, and on particularly unpleasant nights, terrors continue to visit her dreams. She knows those won't ever disappear from her life. It has become a part of her in the same way death has permanently taken from her. However, she's no longer afraid. And with a brave face she carries on, earnestly wishing that someday she will be able to paint brighter, more vivid thoughts on her canvas. An honest portrayal of life and hope amidst the fear. No. Shortly after accepting a scholarship grant from Luxburn University, Isabella moves from Salemwell residence in favor of staying in dorm close to her campus. Although Rebecca Gale's quick to offer assistance for the move, she does admit she will be missing her neighbor of more than 5 years. When all is said and done, she has become fonder of the girl over the years, and with their shared experience over the curse, they have only grown closer. Isabella leaves with a promise to visit every once in a while. And even though she still jokingly complains about Rebecca's bossy attitude, she confesses that she also misses this woman Fuzzens. After all, in a place miles away from her real family, Rebecca is still the closest thing she has to her sister. Oh. More than a year later, once everything in their respective lives have settled, Zachary Steele and Isabella Santos finally hope their first exhibit together. Oh. A project that has been in the making for almost 2 years, after the photographer casually brought it up to the other artists. While merely intended as a small event, it has been surprisingly attended by several members of Luxburn's upper class and art enthusiasts. Oh my god, that's so much to read! Although only a few of the pieces have been meant for sale, the show has brought prominence to Zachary and Isabella's names in the city's art scene. It has since been followed by several other exhibits by the two, both in and out of the city. Currently, they are planning to hold their first show overseas. Yet, even with this unexpected, overwhelming fame, friendship between the two has remained strong. Theirs, after all, is a bond that goes beyond being mere partners in a small project. He's her family as much as she is his. Oh. While she aware she still has plenty of ways to go, getting back to school has also opened a lot of opportunities for Isabella. Is this McCullough? At times, part-time work have started to come in droves, and she is able to support herself financially through her art alone. Something she has only dreamed of as a child. And when clients are generous enough, she is able to send money back home as well, despite her family's reassurance. One such client is Marianne McCullough's interior design company, who frequently commissions her for murals, after the woman has learned of her skill. Though at times she finds it difficult to keep up with the interior designer's standards for quality, it's a job and a challenge she's only too happy to accept, if it means doing what she loves. Oh. Following his success in bringing several major cases to a close, Ashton Frey receives a recommendation for transfer to Luxburn's lead agency against organized crimes. An endorsement eagerly backed by the newly appointed successor to the late Chief Inspector Lee, Abigail Harris. Knowing he'll have more reassurance leeway and a bigger chance at ultimately bringing Luke Wright to justice, Ashton Frey accepts. He soon warns the people close to him against Wright and his associates, but only a friendly reminder now, more than anything. Though he does worry, he believes they are wise enough to know what they are doing and trusts their judgment. For now, he has decided to leave the evidence and the law to speak for itself and take care of the men once the proper time comes. Nowadays, police work and operations keep him busy, sometimes taking him away from the city he grew up in for days on end. A rare thing for him to enjoy once upon a time. Yet, this time, he never loses his drive. Simply growing more determined after having finally found a clear purpose close to the rush and excitement he dreamed of as a child. Although Ashton still keeps mum about specific details of his work, his experience with the curse has slowly taught him how to open up, especially to those who he knows that genuinely care for him. He still has a long way to go, he knows that, but for the sake of the people who are still with him, those who have chosen to stay, he hopes that there will come a day when he no longer has to hide beyond his own lies. A day when he is no longer afraid of facing the truth in his own words. Oh wow. On his day off, Ashton is usually seen loitering around Zachary Steele's studio, either to help him out on one of his pet projects or exasperating the other man on purpose. What's with Isabel and him? Either or, it's mostly the latter. At certain times, he'll volunteer to model for one of the Zach's projects in spite of the photograph's reassurance that it's not needed. Regardless, Ashton insists, before complaining how meticulous the whole process is hours later, to Zach's utter amusement. Though sometimes they may get into small, trivial arguments, things have stayed cordial between the two. If anything, the ordeal they have both gone through has merely strengthened a friendship the detective didn't expect to find in anyone. Ah, finally! After a bit of fumbling, of a few missteps here and there, and moments of briefly allowing their uncertainties to hang over them, Ashton Frey and Isabella Santos finally finds a rhythm. Theirs isn't a soaring love story by any means, nor is it a happily ever after, often told in the picture books the girl has only ever dreamed of having in childhood. Far from it, in fact. Despite what people glimpse their eyes or glean in their gestures, they both know better than to cling to ideals. A stranger will say they're in love. Hopelessly. Genuinely. And there is certainly truth in it. One only has to look. However, what they never see is this. Beyond the soft smiles, fleeting glances, and gentle touches only meant for the other is a grief. A terror that never seems to lift. Constantly filling their nights with echoes of an unforgiving wail and unwelcome dreams that stirs either awake in darkest hours of dawn. It has never truly left them, and it never will. In the same way the light scar on Ashton's hand will never fully heal, or the horrid images in Isabella's mind will never fade. But they cope. In hushed whispers and tender reassurance, with light kisses and long embraces. When that no longer suffices, when the horrors become too much for them to bear, they have each other. A warmth to hold on to in the coldest of nights. And for them, it is more than enough. I still don't really know what happened back there. I mean, it seems like... Oh my god, I can't believe it's over. I think the past of the Oh. This game is so beautiful. It doesn't even give me the chance to give them a feedback. Oh my god. I must admit, this is the best horror visual novel I've ever played. Well, it's the first one, but it's also the best game I played in years. Yeah. How should I explain this now? I play a lot of games in private where you need to choose things and stuff like that. I mean, I played Detroit Become Human and this was an amazing game. And I don't think that this game stands behind that in any means. It is a smaller budget game, that's for sure, than Detroit Becomes Human. But it still has the same vibe to it. It's a totally different topic, but you still get the feeling that you really make the choices and not... In a lot of games it's like, yeah, you can choose what's the end just getting to be or what your story is like, but a lot of those games aren't really doing that. And in this game you really have the feeling that your choices matter no matter what you do. And you get so fond of the characters that you really want them to be alive. But I still missed out a lot. I don't really know what really happened, I can only speculate about what happened. And I think it's like... It's like, I already forgot her name. Takako? The girl, or our monster, has a really sad past. I think she was a slave all the time, then she came to this new master and to the new lord and his mistress. And I guess they fall in love with each other, and his wife found out about that and that's why she got burned as a witch. But I wonder what happened to him. I mean, we saw a memory fragment when... Was it Becca's staff or was it Ash's staff? I think it was... Was it Ash's staff? One of those had the scene where both of them were hurt a lot, and I really want to know what happened. I'm going to play this game no matter what in private. I mean, sorry, but it is amazing. Really. Props to the developers of this game and everyone who backed this up and made this game become real, you know? The music is pretty, the story is amazing, and you really have the feeling that your choices matter. And it's really rare nowadays that you get really good games with decision-based stuffs and so on. And I really want to play this game again. I didn't spoil myself in any regard because of the Let's Play, and I don't want to spoil myself now. There's so many achievements to get, so many story branches I didn't get and stuff like that.
Where are you, Tio? Tio? Please? She's here! She's still here, Tio! Help me! Please!
Dude! Was this really necessary? What? Dear you, if you're reading this, that means you've finished playing the game in one way or another, and we thank you for the time you've spent in playing the letter. This game is our passion project more than anything, and we sincerely hope we delivered in bringing you a one-of-a-kind visual novel experience. The letter is hopefully the first of many visual novels coming from us. If you liked what we did with this game and would like to support us, please consider donating to our Patreon account. You can also follow us on social media to get the latest updates. Our usual handle is Yang Mobile. Thank you so much for everything. Let's talk soon. Love, YYM team. Fuck you. You're so mean! Oh my god! That's awful! I knew it! I knew the curse isn't lifted. Oh, come on! Oh, come on! Oh, come on, come on, come on. Oh, this was a horrible scene. But we didn't have the chance. So it means I really have fucked up a lot of it during the time. There's a lot of things I've missed. I really missed. Oh my god. Don't you dare. I need to play this game again and really want to know what happened. There's so much to experience. God. God. I also need to look up the endings you can get. Without spoilers, I hope. Maybe some of you can tell me down in the comments below how many endings there are, and maybe just a few hints how to get them, because I want to play it through again and I'm going to kill all of them, of course, because I want to. But yeah, guys, that's it with the letter. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any games you want me to play, please write it down in the comments. I'm really happy if I read some of them, because you guys suggested Raccoon to me and the letter, and both of those games were amazing. Raccoon was such an incredibly cute story and such an amazing game to play. It was so lovable and the characters were so lovable. And also the letter was recommended by you guys and Frost. Thanks very much. It is just... This game, I would never stumble across of it in private. I just wouldn't, because I don't play visual novels a lot. I played some of them on my mobile phone, but those are more like love stories and you don't have a really choice or something like that. And I would never have stumbled across this one. Never. And it's so beautiful and I really highly recommend it. Buy it on your own and play it in a way that you like to play. There are for certain some choices you would have picked differently than me, and I'm sure about that. And I really want to know what you guys have to say about the game and how's your experience with it. I mean, it's amazing. It's so amazing. But I wish I had gotten a better ending than that. I thought it would be a good ending, but I knew I've missed out a lot. I need to get a true ending someday in the future. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe to my channel. If you're already subscribed, click on the notification bell down below so you get notified when I upload my videos. Share us on all your social media, and guys, I will see you in the future, or who knows, maybe back. I can't believe it's over. After, I don't know, 70 episodes?